Avatar: The Last Airbender cards have just been added into Magic the Gathering Arena, and whether you're a brand new player checking out the set or somebody who's been playing for 30 years, it can be kind of tricky figuring out what cards are actually in the set and how you can get them. This is a video about that because this is a tricky set when it comes to collecting, and I want people to be able to get all of their favorite cards, all of their favorite characters, and figure out where they're able to play them. So just as like a little primer here, this is a pack of Avatar: The Last Airbender in paper. This is the set code TLA, which you might notice in the search code right here. I put STLA. This is the same thing you get if you click Avatar: The Last Airbender on this line right here. And then I also have this, which is Avatar: The Last Airbender Jumpstart, which is included in the Avatar: The Last Airbender Extra. It is set code TLE. Now, those two set codes probably mean nothing to you, but they're a pretty much way to refer to where these cards are legal. Now, you're going to notice some of these cards have Aang's head on them. This little symbol that's on the side, that means that it is a standard legal card, and you can open them in regular play boosters. There's also some bonus sheet cards that you can't see the symbol, but they actually have the other symbol on them. They are not standard legal, but they can still be found in these play boosters. Now, there's also this glider here, Avatar: The Last Airbender Eternal, or TLE. That is the other set. This includes Jumpstart cards and a bunch of other bonus sheet cards like this, and cards that are sold in a commander bundle like this. Now, all those products I was talking about are the paper products, which don't align exactly with how you get the cards in Arena. Yes, I know, this is already very strange. So if you find a card and you're wondering where is it legal, my number one recommendation is that you actually go over to Scryfall and check, or you can open up the deck builder on Magic the Gathering Arena and see if the card is available in the format of your choosing. Now, beyond that, if you don't really care about whether the format is legal because you're playing in a format like Brawl or Timeless, great. Then you don't need to matter so much about that. You just want to get the cards. And how do you get them? So always in Magic the Gathering Arena, you can craft a card using wild cards. Now, wild cards are something you accumulate by opening up packs. You can get them as daily rewards, and sometimes you even get like bonus ones by opening certain numbers of packs or opening up the vault, which is what happens when you have 4+ copies of a card. It turns into vault progress, and then that turns into a bunch of extra wild cards. That's that number at the bottom there. A wild card can be exchanged for the card of the same rarity. A common is any common, an uncommon is any uncommon, and you can't exchange them up or down or dust them like you would in Hearthstone. So once you've converted a wild card into a card, it is that card in your collection. If you have a different art of a card and you want to unlock the new art for it, if it's an avatar like Cloud Shift, all you need to use is one wild card of that rarity. And then if you already have 4 copies of the card, it will let you use that new art on all of your copies. So like Cloud Shift is a reprinted card, which you can now use the Appa version, which is cool because I like Appa. He's a cool big old flying bison. So in this, you're also going to notice that there are the Jumpstart cards. Strange. Okay, so Jumpstart does not exist in Arena for this set. Instead, we have something called Jump In. Jump In is not Jumpstart. And I'm actually going to go over to the packs very quickly to show you what you can purchase in the store. So if you go over to the store, you're going to see that you can purchase packs. That makes perfect sense. Like, you want to buy a trading card game, you get packs. And here are the packs of Avatar: The Last Airbender. These are not exactly equivalent to a paper pack of the regular set. This is, again, the main standard legal set. They have fewer cards in them, but they can have rares or mythic rares in them. Occasionally they'll have wild cards, and they will only have the cards that are in these packs. If you open a mythic pack, it will not have a regular rare card in it. It will instead always have a mythic rare, rare wild card, or mythic rare wild card. This is something you really only want to purchase if you already have all the rares you want from the set. I will not recommend them otherwise. I actually don't buy many packs, as you can kind of tell up here, but, you know, I still know that not everybody else wants to collect cards through Limited, which is another way which you can collect packs. So there's, I would say, 3 different main ways to play Limited for this set. And the first one is Drafting. Drafting is where you open up packs, you take a card from them, and you pass them around a table, and then you play with those cards. There are different reward structures depending on which way you decide to play the draft, but you can see right here, like the more wins you get, the more gems you get back. It has an entry fee. You can actually win your whole entry fee back. And also you get the packs and the cards that you open, as well as these like prize packs that you get based on your number of wins. It's really cool if you want to help build up your collection, but it's not super new player friendly because you have a timer, you have to pick the cards, you have to really know what you want. There's also something called sealed. Sealed is the second way, which you can do limited in order to build your collection. And these will, again, only include cards from the play boosters. These are the standard legal cards and the bonus sheets. And that is a actually really, really fun format for this set because not only are you opening 6 packs, you keep all the cards in them, you can get additional prizes and prize packs, but you also get to pick a color theme for your boosters. You get 4 regular boosters and then 2 seeded boosters, which will include an uncommon of the character color that you're choosing. It's going to be Toph, Zuko, Azula, Katara, or Aang. I know, Sokka's not in there. It's a shame. He's not a bender, so he doesn't get to hang out. And you also get extra cards of those colors. It's not all in those colors, but more of them are in those colors. So you get to add those cards to your collection. Great. They're all going to be the things in these boosters, which are mostly the standard legal cards and the like screenshot arts, but there's only one of those in every 26 boosters, so don't have to think about it. Now, if you want to collect this and this, that's right, the Jumpstart boosters, you can't do that in sealed or in draft, but you can in Jump In. Now, Jump In is where you open 2 packs, and it will actually give you some tokens for this, so I can show this off. You open 2 packs with different themes. Usually they will have a rare, but as you can see here, there's 2 different set symbols. You can open cards that are the regular standard legal rares or the Jumpstart rares, which are not playable in standard, but you can still get them in Jump In, which is like Jumpstart, but if it were really Jumpstart, it would only have the cards that have the glider symbol on them. So it is a mix of 2. So you pick one of the 3 that they show you. Let's say I want Hunting. Raven Regal's a pretty cool card. And then you pick a second one and you mush them together and you play them. I'll pick out Hey Bye, Forest Guardian. That's a Shrines card. Now you mush these together, you try to play them as a deck. This is going to be a pretty useless one, and all you need to do is get 1 win to get the maximum rewards. You get to keep all of the cards that you opened and put into your deck. So like in this case, I'm going to get a copy of I get like a random uncommon Katara. I'm going to be getting that Raven Eagle, and I'm going to be getting it looks like the Hey Bye that I saw on there. So that's like a really cool card if you're building around shrines. Neat. Okay. So those all go into my collection. I can play, get a random uncommon or rarer card, and it can be from either of these products. Now you're going to notice that there was no way to buy Jumpstart packs, and not all of the Jumpstart cards were there. Yeah. There's something weird going on where they decided not to put Jumpstart fully in Arena, but every single card is available in Arena. So if you don't get them through Jump In, and by the way, Jump In is extremely new player friendly, you do need to craft them. That said, most of the cards in this are not very good. They are not competitive staples, they are not very powerful, and even the ones that are designed for Commander, which are a bunch of them, are not good in the Commander adjacent formats that we have in Arena, which is to say, Brawl. Standard Brawl, the cards won't be playable because they're not standard legal, but you can play them in Brawl, and they are just not quite good enough. There's a few lessons in other cards that I would say are kind of playable, but for the most part, the Jumpstart cards are not ones you really need to worry about collecting unless you want them because there's something that you love. They're depicting a scene that you really enjoy, or maybe they're quoting something you really like you can teach a lesson to your friends with, "That's rough, buddy." Let me craft one of these right here. Yeah, I'm going to use up a wild card because it's important to me that I have this bonding moment between bros, because sometimes your first girlfriend turns into the moon. Did you guys know that I love Avatar: The Last Airbender? I'm so happy that this got a set. I have an Appa and a Momo costume, and I've been like wearing them on and off on stream. Completely like not happening right now because it is too warm in my apartment to dress up like a giant fuzzy animal. I'll stick to the sweaters for right now. So that is the very basics of buying the packs or playing in the limited events using your wildcards, but that is not everything. There's actually a bunch of ways in Arena that look like you're buying cards, or ways to buy cards that are just a bad deal, that I'm going to show you in the store. So let's hop over to the store page right now. And we showed you the packs, I mentioned the mythic packs, but there's also a bunch of different bundles and things on this featured page. I'm going to start by talking about these decks. Now, I think most people would consider me the Brawl person. I'm the person who builds a lot of Brawl decks. People play my Brawl decks, they watch my Brawl content, and I'm happy to be an ambassador of the format. I am not happy that they continue to publish these deck lists and not make them good. So this is actually a new direction they've started taking these precons, but they have the same general structure. So you're going to notice it says like, oh, you get a 16,000 gem value. That's like $75 of gems. Okay. But you're going to notice there it shows like, oh, but you can purchase it for 11,000, or you get it discounted down to whatever amount it shows at the bottom. So what's happening here is these values are calculated based on the literal number of uncommons, commons, rares, and mythics that you have missing from the deck. The more that you already have in your collection, the more this bottom number is reduced by. Oops, I scrolled over. So if you like went and crafted a card that's in this deck and then checked on the number, you'll actually notice that it goes down. The price goes down. So we're going to open one of these up, and there are five different ones. So you have the 4-color Avatar Aang. These are all historic Brawl decks, now just called Brawl. Katara the Fearless, that is an Allies commander. Sokka Tenacious Tactician, this is an Ally Spellslinger deck. Firelord Azula, this is also kind of like a spells deck. Or Iroh Lessons. Now, that is not actually the full theming of these decks, because what they've decided to do is make these decks built only with Avatar spells, but then lands from any set. In previous pre-constructed Brawl decks, they did something really weird where they only gave you kind of bad lands, but they were still rare lands, so the cost was the same, but the cards were not very playable. In these decks, the lands are actually lands that I would recommend that you include in a lot of your Brawl decks. We're talking about these slow lands, shock lands, surveil lands. There are no fetch lands in here, and they did also like flush it out with some of the commons because you don't have to pay as much for them. But these are good lands to have in your collection if you don't already have them. I will recommend these as cards to craft. So getting these in your collection by buying this deck is actually pretty nice. But the cards in the decks themselves are very weird. This is a deck that is not very good. And if you were to take it directly into the Brawl queue, 90% of the time, you're just going to get stomped because, sure, there's bending synergy. But bending synergy for like this commander is not going to do that much. There's a couple cards in here that are like okay on their own, but every single card is from the set. It's really limiting the power level of the deck, and Brawl's a pretty cutthroat format, so actually playing that deck is not that good. But I will say that the lands are a good thing to have. That said, at the price they're selling them at, I don't think so. Like it's a nice way to build out your land collection, but at like the original pricing in here, 11,000 gems, that's over $50. And that's like before taxes, and that's assuming you're buying $100 of gems at a time. All of these are very pricey, with the Azul one actually being the priciest. So we can open this up here. And I believe that's in part because it has the most rares and mythic rares in it, like Ozai, but it also does not really have a major theme. It's like a firebending theme. It's Fire Nation is the theme. It's like Azula's homie is the deck, but it does have some lands I would recommend. In fact, this one even has the check lands, which I usually don't run in my 3-color decks, but they're not bad. I feel that this is, again, they are including better lands. In previous iterations of these decks, they were putting like scry lands in here and snarls, and those are rare lands that I would not recommend you use a wild card on. These are worth the wild card. Maybe not the checks as much, but the other ones are. In the Verges as well. Verges are also very good rare lands. So if you want to actually play these as a commander, and this applies to all of these decks, do not buy the deck. If you are just looking for a shortcut way, because you do not have wild cards and you don't want to buy the wild cards, so just buy the lands, count up how many you'd be getting and evaluate it for yourself price-wise. It's a way to do it. Now, of these decks, the ones that actually work and are the closest to how I would build them as a brawl deck is the Katara deck. This Katara deck is an allies deck, and it's running some of the rare ally synergy, but it's not running all of the cards that I would run in these colors for allies, even from this, because all of the cards are from the set itself. I don't even think that they included Jumpstart cards in here, which is a shame because, oh no, there's one right there. They didn't include some of the ones that I would say should absolutely be in this deck, which is too bad. Like there's a 1-drop ally that just, I guess that there's a couple nice ones in here. It doesn't have Gran in it. She's a 1-drop ally. I think Gran deserves to be in the deck. But yes, this deck actually has a lot of the key cards for allies that I think could come together into a pretty decent deck. Now, if you want a shortcut for a deck, you can purchase this deck and actually remove all of the cards that are not legal in standard, add a couple new cards, and play it as a standard brawl deck, and it will work pretty well. This is a pretty decent shell for a standard brawl deck. That said, I would not pay the price that they're asking for it. I think that is too expensive. Okay, now that I've talked about the decks, because I'm a brawl person and that's something I'm passionate about, let me talk about the other things they have available in the store. If you go over to bundles, you see these the most clearly, and there's like some cute emotes. You have the cabbage vendor, you have the zoo breaking free, you have Iroh drinking tea. Those are cute. There are also now these sound emotes. You won't hear them very loud just because of how I have my audio settings, but you can click on these and it will actually say a voice line that's been isolated from the show, and it will show the text on the screen if you use these in a game. These are very cool, and these are having voice lines on them is actually like brand new. They have not done this before, and they're trying it. I think that a lot of people are just going to end up muting it. By the way, if you want to mute it and you're wondering which audio track it's on, it is not voice, it is SFX. SFX, if you turn that down, you will not hear your opponent's voice chat. You can also mute your opponents by clicking on their avatar and selecting mute, or you can mute all of your opponents just like automatically under the options menu. So if you just don't ever want to see an emote ever again in your life, you can do that. But if you want to buy these, you can get the bundles here. I might be buying them, but only because I want. That's rough, buddy. Like Dante Bosco saying that's rough, buddy, is something that, like, maybe I do want that in my life. We've established. I think that's a very fun scene. You can also get bundles of avatars. Yeah, avatars for Avatar: The Last Airbender. These are the things that represent you at the start of the match, and they're the things you can click. They're split up into the gang, fearsome firebenders, and furry friends. There's also some that are on the mastery pass and some that were pre-order specific. You can also get sleeves here. These are not cards. They are just art that you can apply. These are just, cosmetic things. They do not change the cards in your collection at all. And something worth saying is that of the cards that are available in paper, there are 2 sets of cards that are kind of weirdly in here. The first is the Commander Bundle. Now, if I go over to... Here we go. This is the official gallery on the Wizards of the Coast page, and I want to look up a card that's from the Commander gallery, like Soul Ring. Soul Ring has technically been ported into Arena. You cannot craft it. It is not playable in any format at this moment. Fierce Guardianship has been ported into Arena, and the entire cycle around it has. These are the Commander Bundle cards if you're looking at the paper product. The Commander's Bundle is it's Commander stable cards, and that makes sense. So anyway, this is technically visible in Arena, not craftable, not playable in any format, but Mystical Tutor and a few of the other tutor cards are craftable in Arena, and they are playable in Timeless, Brawl, and some of them are legal in Historic, but some of them are not. There's also like Entomb and a few other cards that are in there. So those cards are only craftable with wild cards. Now, there's also the Secret Lair cards. Now, the Secret Lair cards do not have the set code TLE or TLA because they are not technically actually avatar cards. They are Secret Lair cards that have avatar art. So I'm going to show that right here. This is the Secret Lair website if you want to purchase these in paper. Oh boy, most of them are not sold out. That's fine. The only one that I really care about is this one. Great. These cards and these arts are not available to purchase in Arena. Almost all of these cards are in Arena, but these arts are currently not. Now you're thinking, but Amy, you just showed them. Yeah, they're available as sleeves. So if you want the Zutara sleeve, you can buy it, but you can only currently get it in a bundle. And yeah, that's too bad. That's too bad. Maybe they'll add the art later because these cards, again, like these are legal in Arena. And I want that expressive iteration for all my Brawl decks. I don't know if you guys have seen this card yet. It actually has a typo on it where they misspelled the word complemented to mean the other complemented, and it's very shippy. I love it very much. Okay, back into Arena here. We also have something that looks like cards and are not cards. Whenever they show something that says card styles on it, you are not purchasing the cards. You are just purchasing the art. If you do not already have copies of the card, it will not give you copies of the card. This is just something you can apply as a cosmetic in your decks to your cards to make them change their visual appearance. You still need to craft or purchase these or open them in a pack somewhere else. And yeah, so those are available. Now we move on to, there's just the other cosmetics here. There's also some solo cosmetics if you don't want to buy them in a bundle. If you just want to get one, like you're like, ah, dang, you know, I really want Katara. I really want Uncle Iroh. He's the freaking cutest in the whole world. He wants to give me tea. I want to drink tea with him. I'm a bad girl. Give me Azul. I got abs for days. Ozai. I'm the cutest thing in the gosh darn world. Appa. You can purchase these avatars and apply them to use. They're these are probably, by the way, not going to be available in the store when the next set comes out, which is Lorwyn Eclipsed. When Lorwyn Eclipsed comes out, that's going to be in January, these will rotate out of the store. So some cosmetics I mentioned before are only on the Mastery Pass. Most of those are only on the paid pass, though some of them you can get paid or unpaid. You just won't get all of them, and that includes some sleeves that have the bending poses on them, and some of the other arts down here. So these are all parallax styles, not alt arts. But if you want the Appa pet, you get it through here. And if you wanted to get the Momo pet, apparently you needed to pre-order. I have it. I'm hoping they bring it back into the store at some point. But there's going to be 3 different versions of Appa that are available on here that you can only get through the Mastery Pass. And yeah, they're very cute. It's like Appa in different outfits, which, great. And at the end of the Mastery Pass, you'll just get more things. But that is only on the paid version of Pass. The free pass is up on top, which would still get you some packs and get you some of the cosmetics from that spend orbs right there. So if we go over here then to profile, you can kind of see what it looks like. Companions, those are the pets. I have the Momo pet right here. And yeah, it's really cute. So the basics of it is you can open packs in draft that are like this. You can purchase packs in the game that are kind of like this. And there is no way to get packs that are exactly like this, but you can get packs that are like this and this hybridized together, and that's called Jump In, not Jumpstart. It is very new player friendly, and there's actually a free midweek Magic event right now where I don't believe you get to keep the cards, but it's a way for you to test it out if you just want to try it and see what it's like. If you're a brand new player, I will definitely recommend trying Jump In. And if you just want to look at the art of the cards, just go over to Decks, and then go to Collection, and then you want to filter to Not Collected, and you can either select both of these or put in their set codes. That's S:/TLA and S:/TLE. And then you can look at all the cards, so you can look up your favorite characters. I don't know what your favorite character is, but maybe you're just like an Azula girly and you're just like, yeah, this is awesome. You can craft things from here. If they have alternate art, sometimes you have to like click craft up here and it will show them to you. Sometimes those will be like the parallax style. So like you can see here, I can expand this out and it will show me the parallax, which I can get by paying, or just the base card, which I can craft. Turning that off right there. But yeah, they made it really tricky figuring out how to collect these, where they're legal. If you ever want to check card legality, my recommendation is to go to Scryfall or just open the deck builder and start like filtering in for the cards. When you're building a deck on Arena, you select the deck format. You see right here, select format. It will, I believe, default to standard. But let's say you want a you want a standard deck. You can now click on cards. It will only show you the ones you own until you go to not collected. Then it will show you the ones that you don't have. You can even filter by, oh, I just want the avatar cards. You're going to notice no bonus sheets, no Jumpstart cards here because they are not standard legal. And you can drag them into your deck and craft the ones that you want. Great. That's a good way to do it. You can also then go like, oh, well, I actually want to build a brawl deck. And it will actually start by showing you commanders you want. If you want to filter just by these commanders, if you want to filter by ones that you own or don't own, you're getting the hang of it, right? Using the search function in Arena is really helpful for picking out cards. And if you want to play the most cards from Avatar, I will recommend playing either Timeless or playing Brawl. Now, that said, if you want to make the most out of the cards, I will recommend playing Standard Brawl, which only has standard cards in it, but will really let the Avatar cards shine. You will not be able to play the cards from Jumpstart if you do that, but you will still get to play the majority of cards. There's a lot more cards in the base set than in Jumpstart. And you don't have to look at this. The bonus sheet has some questionable formatting. That's actually, I think, one of the more fun ones. But like, some of them are kind of blurry, awkward screenshots. They look okay in Arena. They don't look great in paper. And if you don't want to see them, just play Standard Brawl and then you won't have to see them. Haha, genius solution. There's also, these are not actually Jumpstart cards. You can open them in collector boosters in paper. You can't open them in any boosters in Arena. Yeah, it's only collector boosters in paper. Or the scene card products. The scene cards are also eternal format only, so not standard legal. And you can only craft these. You can't open them in any pack. So if you want, I don't know, like Aang and Katara, that's a cute card. You have to craft it. You can't open it in a pack, which is too bad. It's cute. Not my ship, but it is cute. Hopefully this video was helpful in helping you understand what cards you can play, where you can play them, and how to get them in Arena. It's a very tricky system, and they don't make it easy if you're new. They give you all these different like resources. They don't really explain them, but I want people to be able to play with cards that have characters they love on them, even if the art on them is kind of silly. And I want everybody to have fun because, I mean, this is the set that has more than ever before. Have you ever thought that there would be so much Momo in Magic the Gathering Arena? I certainly didn't. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have additional questions, please let me know in the comments. I'll try to get to them, or somebody else might get to them first. Thank you so much for watching.